There's a myriad of them, but one in particular I remember, probably about third grade. We had this teacher, Miss Heron, and she said, we were learning about the word minority.
A hush has fallen over certain corners of Hollywood, and those paying close attention have been stunned by the revelation. Rob McElhenney has reportedly unmasked a hidden agenda involving none other than his friend Ryan Reynolds and Ryan's wife, Blake Lively. Yet until Rob stepped in, nobody could quite place the puzzle pieces. The shock is all the greater for those who know Rob and Ryan as warm collaborators, thanks to their joint ventures that transformed them into a beloved comedic duo. Now, the entire entertainment world is trying to make sense of a situation that grows more peculiar by the day. If Rob's account is even halfway accurate, the glossy facade covering Ryan and Blake's private lives hides more intrigue than anyone could have predicted. Insiders pointed to an increasingly complicated dynamic behind the scenes, particularly regarding Blake's involvement with a highly anticipated film adaptation of the novel It Ends With Us, directed and co-written by Justin Baldoni. Early announcements included talk of her dedication to the project and how her star power would fuel the film's marketing. Meanwhile, Ryan's reputation as a supportive husband implied that he stood behind her ventures wholeheartedly. Their comedic banter online seemed to confirm an easygoing relationship, as though everything was on track. But beneath the surface, something was stirring. According to Rob, there was a master plan in motion, one that stretched beyond an ordinary behind-the-scenes dispute. At first, Rob struggled to believe that Ryan, someone he considered a genuine friend, would be part of a cleverly designed scheme. After all, their camaraderie was evident, built not only on comedic chemistry but also on mutual respect. Yet as more details came his way, Rob found the pieces aligning in ways he could no longer ignore. In private conversations, he hinted he would eventually reveal the truth if the situation grew too problematic. Some claimed she found his direction stifling.
But I was like just tracking him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
Given that Justin was not just the film's director and co-writer, but also a lead actor whose influence stretched across every aspect, but rumors soon escalated. Behind-the-scenes suggestions arose that someone, allegedly close to Blake, was feeding negative tidbits to the tabloids, casting Justin in an unflattering light. At first, it was widely assumed that Blake was fighting back in self-defense. Now, Rob's bombshell revelations have turned that assumption upside down. According to Rob, Ryan and Blake planned this entire scenario as part of a larger game. In their view, the film's success, combined with some cunning maneuvering, could elevate Blake to a new level of influence. The more conflict the tabloids ate up, the more attention the project received, and the more she could shape the narrative in her favor. Rob asserts that Ryan used his industry connections to ensure the rumor mill stayed active while preserving Blake's image as a victim. It's a startling accusation that reconfigures the story, far from a bystander. Rob's perspective became more widely known when he decided to speak with a trusted entertainment journalist. After hearing about the emergence of certain text messages that revealed private exchanges among Blake, Ryan, and key figures in the production. In these leaked texts, Blake wrote about using her dragons, a term some interpret to mean her close-knit circle of influential allies, Ryan foremost among them, to assert control over post-production decisions, press strategies, and ultimately the film's public reception, no matter how events truly unfolded behind closed doors. Rob, for his part, felt betrayed. He considered Ryan a friend and collaborator, and he had admired Blake for her talent and humor. Learning that they might be secretly steering an agenda designed to manipulate news cycles shook him deeply. Rob's initial reaction was denial, but as the texts piled up, along with testimonies from members of the film's production team, he came to a stark realization. He confided in mutual acquaintances who hinted that they too felt uneasy about what they had heard. Finally, amid mounting evidence, Rob decided the best approach was to step into the public arena and provide his account, hoping that honesty might prevent further harm, especially to those blindsided by the fiasco. In his statements, Rob highlighted that while day-to-day disagreements on a film set are normal, what took place here was far more orchestrated. He pointed to carefully timed leaks that painted Justin Baldoni as overbearing. Tabloid headlines hinted that Justin invaded Blake's personal space and undermined her postpartum needs.
That ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of 2 people, maybe. And then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
What?
Oh no! Rob contends these claims, at least in part, were amplified by Ryan's behind-the-scenes efforts. According to him, the couple realized that if they could cultivate a sympathetic narrative for Blake, it would catapult her into a position of unprecedented influence and overshadow any stumbles in her career. Meanwhile, the film's publicity would benefit from the chatter. Rob added that such tactics, although not new in Hollywood, rarely emerge in such a choreographed manner. He was also quick to mention how reminiscent this was of earlier controversies, most notably the saga that befell Amber Heard, a star who was once adored, yet found her public image drastically altered by competing narratives. In both cases, the public initially rallied around a female star who claimed to be unfairly maligned. Then, new evidence shifted sentiment dramatically, leading many to reconsider their initial assumptions. While the details differ, the shape of the controversy feels eerily similar. Contradictory text messages, disputes over who said what behind the scenes, and rumors that certain individuals manipulated the media for their own gain. Yet the notion that Ryan Reynolds, widely perceived as a charming, laid-back actor who thrives on comedic timing, could be playing a key role in orchestrating an elaborate plan is a level of complexity few anticipated. Rob insists that he tried to address matters privately first, urging Ryan to clarify the accusations swirling around him and Blake. But as more text logs and behind-the-scenes accounts emerged, it became clear that not only was there an intentional spin on events, but also a broader scope to the plan, one that allegedly involved forging alliances with specific tabloids and entertainment bloggers. Several production assistants on It Ends With Us came forward anonymously, describing an environment where they were instructed to remain silent if they noticed any inconsistencies in the stories being passed around. Some reported that the tension escalated whenever Justin attempted to address the rumors directly because, as Rob claims, the objective was to keep the conflict simmering in the public's mind. The leak of full text threads added another layer. Early in the saga, Blake released heavily edited fragments that portrayed her as someone under constant stress, pleading for consideration from Justin. She claimed that the atmosphere on set was so taxing she felt cornered and disrespected. Many fans believed her, empathizing with the challenges that can face actresses returning to work after personal milestones. However, Rob helped bring to light the extended versions of these messages, showing that, contrary to her portrayal, Blake had invited various interactions and voiced no concerns at the time. From Rob's vantage point, the revelations made it clear that select messages had been edited to cast Blake as the aggrieved party, aligning perfectly with the overall strategy he claims Ryan was helping her pull off. One of the most jarring allegations centers on how Ryan could potentially leverage his clout to shape the film's post-production. According to Rob, Ryan has forged strong relationships in the entertainment business, largely due to his comedic brand and lucrative partnerships. By applying subtle pressure, he could help ensure that certain edits favored Blake's performance and that marketing materials emphasized a storyline of triumph over adversity. In essence, if they succeeded, the final product might emerge as a testament to Blake's resilience, overshadowing any behind-the-scenes friction or contradictory accounts. Justin Baldoni, for his part, found himself cast in a questionable light, though Rob believes Justin was simply trying to keep the production on track, an unwitting opponent in a staged conflict he had no real power to control. Matters reached a fever pitch when an unexpected twist unfolded. Blake's attorney stepped away from representing her. Public statements from the lawyer implied that Blake had provided an inconsistent version of events. Rob mentions that initially, the couple managed to frame the lawyer's departure as a typical Hollywood change of strategy. But insiders soon discovered something far more explosive. Rob claims the attorney saw the unedited texts and realized that what Blake had been disseminating in public did not align with the documented reality. The attorney's abrupt exit, therefore, carried the weight of disapproval far more significant than a standard parting of ways. It also lent serious credibility to those who contended that Blake's story had been carefully fabricated. By now, Rob had gathered enough information that he believed the plan, this evil plan, as some are calling it, was bigger than simple spin. It was a full-court press designed to achieve two goals. First, to vault Blake into a new realm of stardom by earning public sympathy and attention. Second, to secure a lucrative future for both her and Ryan as Hollywood's ultimate power couple. Rob draws parallels to how certain controversies in the past propelled stars to enormous fame, even if it came at the cost of scandalizing the public. He emphasizes that while such strategies might yield short-term gains, they often unravel if contradictory evidence emerges. Justin Baldoni, for his part, responded with remarkable calm, making sure everyone had the chance to see uncut conversations and inviting neutral observers to judge the full context themselves. This tactic, Rob points out, is often what deflates orchestrated narratives. Once complete details of a situation appear, it becomes far harder to maintain any single perspective that omits inconvenient parts. Because of that, Rob suggests that Blake and Ryan's plan began to crumble under the weight of new facts. And that's precisely when their attorney ended the relationship, unwilling to stand by a client whose version of events no longer aligned with documented exchanges. At this point, the production staff of It Ends With Us started giving interviews or posting on social media, offering snapshots of episodes involving Blake. Fans, once enchanted by the couple's comedic social media posts, now scour old interviews for signs that might confirm or contradict the existence of a secret plan. They recall how easily Ryan and Rob joked on camera, how they appeared to enjoy a seamless friendship, an on-screen rapport that now stands at odds with Rob's unsettling revelations. The ramifications have started to ripple beyond the film set. Producers are reportedly wary of committing to new collaborations with Ryan and Blake if the swirl of negative publicity continues. Industry observers caution that such hesitancy might intensify if more evidence emerges that they orchestrated entire controversies for personal gain. Some entertainment executives privately note that while Hollywood can tolerate stars who bring attention, this kind of orchestrated chaos might cross a line that jeopardizes trust. Once that trust is broken, it can be difficult, if not impossible, to restore. Rob suggests that the couple's entire brand, built on approachable humor and relatable family moments, might crack under scrutiny, threatening upcoming deals and endorsements. Of course, it's possible that Ryan and Blake will mount a robust defense. Maybe they have a cache of evidence undermining Rob's account. Or perhaps they'll argue that the text messages were taken out of context. They could suggest that Justin Baldoni's actions led them to protect themselves in ways misconstrued as manipulative. Yet Rob's decision to align himself with those who have leaked complete, unaltered conversations suggests that any comeback story would need to address some glaring inconsistencies. Hollywood watchers point out that once a close associate brands a star's behavior as a carefully orchestrated plan, especially with references to dragons and private marketing strategies, it's an uphill climb to regain credibility. Meanwhile, the parallels to Amber Heard's experience serve as an instructive reminder that once contradictory messages or recordings enter the public domain, the narrative can shift multiple times. Early supporters of Blake and Ryan may still hope for a different explanation. They point out that in the harsh environment of show business, celebrities often take precautionary measures that might appear calculating without necessarily being malicious. They also raise the possibility that Rob himself might be interpreting strategic decisions, like how to handle press leaks, as far more nefarious than intended. If that were true, it would mean the entire saga rests on misunderstandings that got magnified until trust eroded irreparably. For now, the stage is set for an extraordinary test of public relations and personal accountability. Some fans cling to hope that the couple will present evidence exonerating them from any manipulative grand design. Others trust Rob's account unconditionally, pointing to his history of being candid and even-handed. In either case, the parallels to prior Hollywood firestorms loom large. Perhaps the lasting lesson is how easily the most genuine-seeming personalities can mask deeper machinations. Or perhaps, in the end, Ryan and Blake will demonstrate that Rob misunderstood their intentions, and that everything has been a series of wild misreadings. The truth remains elusive, but one thing is certain. Rob McElhenney's decision to expose this alleged plan has thrown a spotlight on Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively,